of Parliament. From London, Holly Hudson.
The Prime Minister said both sides have agreed to meet twice a week from next month ahead of a summit in Brussels on the 17th of October. The main sticking point in these negotiations is still the Irish backstop, the fail-safe to ensure no hard border between the island of Ireland in the EU and Northern Ireland in the UK. Johnson says while he feels there is a willingness among the EU to discuss alternatives, the increase in meetings is necessary if they are to find a solution and agree a deal before October 31st. It comes as a backlash over the Prime Minister's decision to suspend Parliament just weeks before that deadline continues. Sir John Major, the former Conservative leader, has now joined one of two legal bids to try and stop the suspension.
Founders of the prominent pro-democracy group Demosisto have been arrested by police in Hong Kong. They were rounded up early on Friday morning ahead of the 13th weekend of planned demonstrations in the city. From Hong Kong, FSN's Bruce Harrison.
Demosisto said that both Joshua Wong and Agnes Chow were taken to police headquarters. Wong, it said, was forcefully pushed into a private minivan while he was walking to the subway station. Chow was arrested at her home. The police say the two are suspected of inciting others to take part in an unauthorized assembly and participating in an unauthorized assembly. Prominent pro-independence activist Andy Chan was detained as well the day before. The arrests come after the police banned a mass march planned for Saturday.
Ukraine says the process of high-profile prisoner swaps is ongoing, but has not yet been completed. It comes as hostilities ease between the two countries. Among those likely to be released are Ukrainian sailors and a high-profile filmmaker. From Moscow, Julia Chapman.
Discussions about a prisoner swap have been circling for weeks now, ever since Ukraine's new president, Volodymyr Zelensky, carried out his first phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Ukrainian officials say the swap is underway and is expected to include 24 Ukrainian sailors who were detained by Russia last year after a standoff in the Kerch Strait. Ukrainian filmmaker Oleg Sentsov is also likely to be sent home. He's been in prison since 2014, accused of plotting terrorist acts in Russian-annexed Crimea. He denies the charges and his supporters say he is a political prisoner. It's not clear which Russian prisoners will be exchanged, but on Wednesday, Russian journalist Kirill Vyshinsky was released from custody. Julia Chapman, Moscow.
2,000 people have now died in the current Ebola outbreak in the DRC. It's also been confirmed by Uganda that a 9-year-old girl who'd crossed into the country from DRC has died from the virus. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Kutztown Live. KUR's campus and community interest radio magazine. You can always be a part of Kutztown Live by giving us a call at 610-683-4859. And now, this is Kutztown Live.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Welcome to Kutztown Live. I'm one of your brand new hosts, Aaron B., joined by my co-host,
Joshua Kaplan.
I'm Aaron from Undeclared on Mondays 6 to 7. Where do you come from?
I'm with the Musical Morgue today from 6 to 7.
That's incredible. It's good to hear that you're doubling up on these shows.
I'm keeping it. It keeps me honest, really.
Keeping yourself busy. Well, again, welcome to Kutztown Live, a show about Kutztown, the university, and the most agreeable town of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. Well, on this show, we do interviews with people from the campus and around the community. But for our first segment on this episode today, we just have the two of us just, talking about moving. It's the first week. A lot of people are resettling in. We just wanted to talk about that. And for later in the episode, we thought it would be good to have two very important resources come on to the show and talk about them. So we have CASA coming in. We have two representatives from that office talking about the Center for Academic Success and Achievement, which Josh and I felt was a very important department to come on here and speak to those who may not know about them. And we also have someone from the library speaking about all the resources that they have and what kind of events they have going on this semester for everyone. So it's going to be a great show. What do you think, Josh?
I think it's going to be great. I have a lot of faith in us as hosts.
Those are some bold words.
I believe in us.
But like I said, we do not have a guest for this part of the show, so we're going to talk, and we're going to start the show off with a topic that's been pretty heavy on campus. So we're finding it relevant to put it on here. So a lot of students use the MyKU app to find where their classes are. There's there's a Twitter clone on there that's for
whatever reason.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's fun, and I know I also personally use it to remember when my classes are, and especially where they are, because it takes me like 2 weeks in the beginning of the semester to remember where my classes are.
See, I've actually had a problem with that. I'd just off to start. I switched my classes in the beginning of the semester before classes even started, and it hasn't even updated what my classes are.
Yeah, so a lot of people have been having problems with the app, and clearly that's not good to have here, because it's very important that everyone get to where their classes are. But the most common problem that we seem to be finding is just the wrong classroom number being on there. Have you had this problem, Josh?
I actually haven't, but I know a lot of people have.
Yeah, I know I'm speaking to this topic from personal experience, because myself and my roommate actually both had this problem. I was just trying to go to my Math 17 Intro to Math course, and it actually sent me down the hallway to a History of African American Culture class, which actually, funny enough, another KUR host was supposed to be in that class, but was sent to my math class. So we just kind of traded off rooms like prisoners. Shout out to Jeremy Wolfgang.
Well, that just sounds like a mess.
It was honestly the biggest mess, and it's been a huge problem on campus. And I know it hasn't been fixed for most people that I've spoken to. It's not fixed on mine. It still says the wrong room in Lytle. So yeah, I totally forgot what room my class was in when I went yesterday.
Mine still says that I have a class that I do not have. So to find out what class I actually have, I've had to go on the MyKU website itself instead of the app.
Who uses websites anymore?
They're a dying business, I gotta say.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Newspapers are coming back.
Newspapers are coming back. And you know what else is coming back? Radio, like Kutztown Live.
That's right.
High quality program like this. So, what we also wanted to talk about, just things that we find helpful for people that are new to the school, new to the campus, whether that be freshmen or transfer students, because that's kind of what we wanted to do with this whole first episode. Just we wanted to start it off with that news, because it's very relevant right now, and it would be important to talk about. So let's move into our advice for this semester. Josh, you got any tips for freshmen or transfer students, just like things that they should know that you don't learn in orientation?
Beaky's hard to navigate.
Yeah,
I don't like Beaky.
Yeah, I find like a couple of the buildings hard to navigate, like Old Main.
Old Main, I've only had since last year and this year included, I've only had 2 classes in Old Main, and they've been in one hallway. So I don't know, beyond that hallway, I know nothing.
Yeah, it's an actual mess in there. I think we could both recommend, even though the first week of classes is already done, there is still the add drop period. So maybe you drop a class in one of the buildings, and you say you get sent to Old Main. Definitely go this weekend or something. Go scout out where your class is so you're not late, just so you have an idea.
Yeah.
I tend to do that before every semester starts when I have new classes. I think it's a good tactic.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's what I did that last year. I haven't done that this year because I thought I knew where I was going. I do not know where I'm going.
Yeah. Josh and I are both sophomores, if we failed to mention that earlier, and both of us do every once in a while have a hard time trekking and finding things on campus.
Yeah. I mean, I know where all the buildings are. if that counts.
I don't know. I think there's the one that's right next to Sheridan, or not Sheridan. Whatever the administrative building is.
Stratton, something, I think.
Yeah, it's behind there. It has big columns. I'll never know what it is.
Is it like Grizzly?
Yeah, that might be it.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right, so we're going to move on to a KU notebook, and then we're going to take a break and then come back with our guests from CASA. So we're going to go with this notebook that was just slapped on my board. From the KUR notebook, attention KU community. Have you ever dreamed of being on this side of the mic? KUR is always looking for new members. Our weekly meetings are Tuesdays at 11 a.m. in LC 135, and our studio is in the bottom floor of the MSU near the Alumni Auditorium. Hey, that's where we are right now.
That is.
Stop by during our normal office hours to get more info, or feel free to email us at kur@kutztown.edu, or DM any of our social media pages. Hope to see you soon. This message brought to you by the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. I really hope we see more members at our meeting on Tuesday.
And as of the first meeting, we've already seen a couple new members. Some people training over the summer, as well as people who joined on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was awesome. Hope to see more members out there. We have a gigantic room we have to fill now. But, all right, like I said, for now, we're going to head to a break. You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Hope to see you guys after the break.
Vaccinate. I'm State Senator Judy Schwank with a Pennsylvania moment. Only 86% of children entering kindergarten in Pennsylvania have all their necessary vaccinations. Unvaccinated children are at risk for many serious and life-threatening diseases. For more information, visit don'twaitvaccinate.pa.gov. I'm State Senator Judy Schwank with a Pennsylvania moment.
It's Telescopic Topics, a look into the world above us.
Ever wonder if life exists outside of Earth and our solar system? Hi, my name is Andrew Laurie. It's a common question, and one way that scientists are working to find the answer is by looking for Earth-sized planets in the habitable zone of other stars in solar systems. A habitable zone is a range of orbit around a star where liquid water can be supported on the planetary surface. Scientists were trying to find planets that are located in that zone by using the Kepler telescope, which launched on March 7, 2009, and is close to its mission's end. Around 5 years after launching, on April 17, 2014, the telescope picked up a red dwarf M-class star with 5 planets rotating around it. This star has a mass of almost half that of our own star and is roughly 500 light years away from it. The outermost of the planets, named Kepler 186f, and dubbed Earth's cousin, is Earth-sized and located in the habitable zone. Before going ahead and assuming we just discovered Naboo from Star Wars, the atmosphere of Kepler 186f is unknown due to the distance between us and the planet. The planet was the first discovered that has the possibility of sustaining life outside of Earth. According to NASA, as of 2016, Kepler 186f is one of the 3 most likely habitable planets that we have discovered so far. Now ask yourself, in a universe that is indescribable in its vastness, do you really think it's possible that Earth is the only place with sustained life?
Telescopic Topics, a look into the world above us. Stay tuned to KUR for more Telescopic Topics. Telescopic Topics is a production of the KU Physical Sciences Department and is recorded by KU astronomy students in the studios of KUR. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
And now, another film rental discovery.
Welcome to the Indie Film Minute. Allegedly, the footage in Exit Through the Gift Shop was shot by Thierry Guetta, a businessman with a fetish for his video camera. It was insightfully narrated by the secretive and celebrated street artist Banksy, whose face we never see. We say allegedly because there is some question as to who is the artist and who is the con artist. There have even been accusations of hoax. Banksy himself admits maybe art is a bit of a joke. The audience are the winners here. This Oscar-nominated documentary is a captivating introduction into the world of street artists. Their art reveals a rare kind of beauty bound fast to the hype that leads to commercial success. Banksy has apparently parlayed his street art into a fortune while remaining totally anonymous. Reportedly, he put together the film himself, using Thierry's massively disorganized collection of tapes. Exit Through the Gift Shop is a look into what it calls the legal gray area of street art. It provides fascinating perspectives on the nature of art and its relationship to hype. The really fun part of this remarkable film is deciding which is which. Indie Film Minute, not in theaters, discovery through rental. Find us on the web at indiefilmminute.com.
More than 100 million animals are illegally killed each year. Poaching is a major threat to our country's wildlife, but it's just one of the risks animals face. Pervasive and unprecedented destruction of their habitat threatens their very existence as development encroaches on our nation's remaining open spaces. The best way to protect wildlife is to protect the land on which they live. When we make their land safe and protect it from development, we help keep animals from extinction and defend fragile ecosystems. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust works with private landowners to protect wildlife by preserving natural habitats and establishing permanent sanctuaries. Curbing habitat loss is a daunting task, but one that must be undertaken to ensure that wildlife have the wild places they need to survive and thrive in perpetuity. To learn more, call 1-800-729-SAVE, that's 1-800-729-SAVE, or visit wildlifelandtrust.org.
I lost my vision 5 years ago. They called it macular degeneration. I called it devastating. Thought I'd never read again.
But then she discovered Talking Books, a free program through the Library of Congress's National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped.
Keeping me connected to my world? Now you're talking.
This year, the Talking Book and Braille program celebrates 80 years of delivering books and magazines right to the doorsteps of those unable to read the printed word.
Whatever you're into, there's so much to choose. Letting me read what all my friends are reading too. Now you're talking.
Any individual unable to read regular print due to blindness, low vision, or physical handicap is eligible for Talking Books, and it's free.
I lost my eyesight back in Vietnam, but Talking Books have really been there for me. The books I want on my own terms, now you're talking.
To learn more about Talking Books, call the National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped at 1-888-NLS-READ or visit www.loc.gov/NLS.
And now, another film rental discovery.
Welcome to the Indie Film Minute. Some films were never intended to be classics. $5 a day didn't even make it to the theaters. With a cast including favorites Christopher Walken and Sharon Stone, it might have if it had had any such aspirations. But in this case, the intent was all about having fun. Walken plays scam artist Nat Parker, who lives his life on the hustle, never paying for anything that can be had for a twist. He wins radio contests. He has IDs showing birthdays for every day of the year and frequents restaurants that give free meals to birthday boys. He even drives a logoed promotional hot pink Sweet and Low car because he gets free gas in return for his humiliation. Parker now has cancer and seeks to rekindle a relationship with his estranged, conservative-leaning son. He apparently needs his boy to drive him to New Mexico for experimental treatments. Or is this just another ruse? With enough of a plot to keep us interested, enough laughs to season the pot, and even a wild 52-year-old bikini-clad Sharon Stone to pass the time with, $5 a day is worth the price of admission, if you can't find a way to get it for free. $5 a day, not in theaters, discovery through rental.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Welcome back to Kutztown Live. I'm your host, Aaron B., joined by my co-host,
Josh from the Musical Morgue.
Wow, you already have to plug your show.
Yes, I do.
But like I had mentioned earlier this episode, we have two guests right now from the Center for Academic Success and Achievement, CASA, Lana Gonzalez and Miss Valerie Rideout. How are you two doing?
Fine, thank you. Very happy to be here.
Yep, I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here and talk to you guys about CASA.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. Our first show was all about making sure that our new listeners know the resources that are here and available to them on campus. So we believed CASA was arguably the most important one for them to know about. So I'm going to move right into the questions. So for those who may not know, whether they be freshmen who weren't paying attention during orientation or transfer students not paying attention during orientation, what is CASA? What is the office and what does it offer?
CASA is the Center for Academic Success and Achievement. And our office provides students with personalized academic support through one-on-one meetings. We provide various topics that students need to hear about, such as time management, note-taking, study skills, just how to be successful to maximize their success in the classroom.
Well, that's fantastic. I know I used CASA a lot my freshman year. I'd argue you guys are what got me through my classes.
Oh, that's good to know.
So yeah, we definitely it's definitely important to have you guys on here and let everyone know what your services are, and that's fantastic. Now, I know that a lot of organizations host events at the beginning of the semester to promote their office or group and to get people like aware of it. Is CASA hosting any events towards like this beginning of the semester?
So in about a week, our workshop series begins. It's the Student Success Workshop Series. So these workshops are held Sundays at 4 and Tuesdays during the free hour at 11 a.m. and they are about different topics such as time management, test-taking skills, how to manage test anxiety, note-taking, and things like that. And in Dietrich, in our CASA location, we also have like evening programs. So you will find CASA around campus and in the residence halls doing tabling and outreach and things like that. So we do try to get our name out there and get students involved.
And also I'll add that CASA is also in the classroom. So we go into the classroom as well as faculty bringing their classes to one of the centers for presentations.
Yeah, so something our coordinators are doing now are going into the first year seminar classes. So throughout this week, they've been scheduled with those things, letting the freshmen know about CASA as a resource.
Yeah, actually, Josh and I, we actually had the same first year seminar last year, and a representative from CASA came in and spoke to our class, gave us some great handouts, actually, very, very helpful handouts. So you said that the classes are coming to CASA now?
Yes, sometimes a faculty member will choose to walk a class over to the library just so that they can not only see the location of CASA, but also tutoring services in the Writing Center, which is located in the library.
Great. And those workshops that you spoke of earlier, where could a student find that information on when and where they're going to be?
Sure. So if you go to www.kutztown.edu/CASA, we will have all of the workshop series and the dates and times there for you to look at.
And there are posters on the green boards throughout the campus as well as in the residence halls and academic buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Well, I know you spoke about the main services that CASA offers earlier. Now, can students just walk into your office at Dietrich if they're looking for help, advice?
Right. So yes, Dietrich is a walk-in atmosphere most of the time. So students are able to just walk in during our normal hours, and if we can help them with whatever we need, we will. If we have to set up a different appointment at a different time, we can also do that.
And that's also the same at the main office in the Rohrbach Library. Students can walk in, and if we're available at that time, we will help them and meet with them one-on-one, or an appointment can be set up.
Would you recommend, I know especially in the later times of the semester, like a lot of like the tutoring services, CASA, the writing center, they have a lot on their plates with a lot of students. So I know towards the middle and end of the semester, would you recommend appointments be made?
Well, what we say to students, especially with all the freshmen that we're meeting with, ideally the first 2 weeks of the semester, as soon as possible when you feel that you're having a struggle or need help with something. But CASA, the main office, as well as Dietrich, we meet with students at any point in time throughout the semester. But ideally, the earlier the better.
Yeah, the earlier the better to get the appointments for like consistency. And just if you have to see a coordinator, then you can do that on a weekly basis or however often needed.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, Josh and I earlier in the show, we for our first segment actually, we talked about advice that just the two humble radio DJs had for the campus at large. So you two work in a very important office that helps a lot of students. So I'm also want to throw you guys the same question that him and I were thrown. Do you have any just general advice for the new students here at Kutztown?
Definitely. So because I am a student, my advice is to stay organized. Time management is really important as a college student, and it is a huge adjustment for people who are just starting college because you're in class and then you have all of this free time outside of class and lots of distractions on top of that. So, you know, really plan everything out, use your resources, planners, calendars, things like that. And just try to stay on track of your assignments so that they don't build up. And like Valerie said, seek help as early as possible to avoid, procrastination and things like that.
Absolutely. I agree with everything that, of course, Lana said. And the resource part is very important. As students, you need to reach out and use your resources to maximize your success and potential here. And that's what we're all in it for the same reason, to see everyone be successful and graduate. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of supportive people here at Kutztown.
That's fantastic. I couldn't agree more with the resources. Like, great on-campus resources are really like what gets me through, what gets me the grades I want. And I'm happy to go to a school like Kutztown that has all of these. I would call them amenities. Like they're great. The resources are fantastic. Well, as we draw to a close on the interview, can you guys tell us just again where you guys are located, how easiest ways to find you, and at what times?
Okay. The main CASA office, as we refer to, is the lower level of the Rohrbach Library, room 26 specifically. And we're in the same general vicinity as tutoring services. We have traditional office hours from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. However, my coworker Lana, you'll see when she speaks about the office hours for Dietrich, they're more non-traditional, more adaptable to a student's hours. So Lana.
Exactly. So I am the graduate assistant for CASA. I work with evening programming. So primarily I am in CASA within Dietrich Hall, and it is geared towards more untraditional hours. It's on the residential side of campus. However, anyone can come and use our services. The doors are unlocked during our hours of operation in Dietrich, which are Sunday through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then on Fridays, we are open during the day, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then we are closed on Saturdays. So that's where you can find us in the Dietrich location.
And of course, just Google CASA on the website, and you will pull up our webpage where you will find a variety of resources for students, campus, and faculty.
Well, great. Thank you guys so much. I can't stress enough to our new students who are listening to KUR how important CASA is. So please go check them out. And again, to you two, thank you so much for coming on and talking. It's been great.
Thank you for having us.
you.
Yeah, we hope to see some students come in.
It's good to be golden.
Yeah, stay golden.
Make sure you mention that you heard it on KUR when you go into the office. We know we love getting thrown some love. Well, we're going to head to a break now. Thank you so much. You are listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR Kutztown. Hope to see you after the break.
Listen to KUR every Saturday night from 10 to midnight Eastern Time for the Cat Beast Radio Show. Explore the world with Angie Dorn as she plays the best in punk, rock, and surf. Hear it here on www.kutztown.edu/KUR. KUR, the radio voice of Kutztown University.
Programming on KUR provided in part by the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce. 610-683-8860. Taking a look at your weather forecast produced on Thursday, August 29th and good for the coming week, as provided by the National Weather Service and WeatherBug. Friday, sunny, high of 83 degrees. Saturday, August 31st, sunny, high of 78. First day of September, Sunday, September 1st, mostly cloudy, 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high of 77. Labor Day Monday, September 2nd, mostly cloudy, 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high of 80. Tuesday, September 3rd, mostly sunny, high of 83. Wednesday, September 4th, mostly sunny with a 30% chance of a shower or a thunderstorm, high of 85 degrees. Thursday, September 5th, partly sunny, cooler, high of 75 degrees. Friday, September 6th, mostly cloudy and cooler, high of 73. Saturday, September 7th, partly cloudy, high of 73 degrees. We check weather hourly on your information leader here in northeastern Berks County, KUR. Programming on KUR provided in part by the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce, 610-683-8860. Checking KU headlines, Kutztown University wrestling coach Robert Fisher and women's track and field coach Ray Hoffman have been named the 2019 KU men's Dr. Dennis Roth and women's Dr. Dorothy Moyer Coaches of the Year. It is the second consecutive year that Fisher is recognized as Coach of the Year, last year earning Women's Coach of the Year honors and leading women's golf to its first ever PSAC Conference Championship. Hoffman is awarded his first Coach of the Year honor in track and field after previously winning twice for women's cross country in 2001 and 2002. Congratulations to coaches Fisher and Hoffman. News comes hourly on your newsleater here in northeastern Berks County, KUR.
Pennsylvanians can now register to vote online. I'm State Senator Judy Schwank with a Pennsylvania Moment. If you're eligible to vote, you're now able to join thousands of your fellow citizens who have registered to vote at a new website run by the Department of State. You can also use the site to change your name, address, or party affiliation. Log on to register.votespa.com. I'm State Senator Judy Schwank with a Pennsylvania Moment.
It's on us to stop being a bystander to the problem of sexual assault.
It's on us
to stop a sexual assault any way we can.
It's on us to change the way we talk about women.
Take reports of sexual assault seriously.
To look out for someone that has had too much to drink.
It's on us, the Golden Bear community,
to stop sexual assault. I took the pledge and you can too at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to Kutztown Live. I'm guest host Mike Regensberger for this segment. We'll be back to your regular hosts in about 20 minutes here on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. I'm in the studio right now with Dr. Christopher Habeck. He is going to be teaching something, going to be participating in something really cool this winter that we want to get some students interested in and there's an information session discussing it next week. So, Doctor, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to have you here. Okay. I'm enjoying looking at your little write-up that you sent me. Monkeys, jaguar, manatees, crocodile, beaches, mangoes, chocolate, beans, and rice.
All those things and more.
All those things and more. How would you like to explore the pristine and diverse tropical regions and coral reefs of Central America during Winter Session 2020 while also learning credit towards your degree? That sounds really cool, and it sounds like something that students can do. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, and I think students would be excited to experience it too. So, in the current Gen Ed, students need to take 3 science courses.
Okay.
And often, if they're not, science-minded, they dread this experience.
Right.
So this is an opportunity for them to turn 15 weeks of a dreaded on-campus science course
into something not so dreaded.
Into something incredibly wonderful and inspiring in 2 weeks during winter in a warm place.
That's neat. Yeah.
And so we're going to be going to the country of Belize, which is about the size of New Hampshire.
And I was going to ask you, just for anybody that's geographically challenged, where exactly is Belize?
So if you know where Cancun is, that's on the Yucatan Peninsula.
So that idea.
Cancun, and then below Cancun is another popular spot called Tulum.
Okay.
Okay, and then about a 5-hour drive below that is Belize.
So if you don't like winter weather and snow, you don't have to worry about that there, right?
You certainly don't. No,
Okay.
it'll be constantly 80 degrees.
Nice.
Air and water temperature.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did this all come about?
Well, I've been thinking about doing a study abroad program for a long time.
Okay.
A lot of my colleagues in different departments, like psychology and history and English, go to Ireland and London for programs, and I thought that would be a wonderful experience for myself and for our students. And so I was thinking about, where would the destination be? And I'm an ecologist, so I study species and how they interact with one another, and how the environment influences those species. And so I wanted to go somewhere with lots of species. And Belize is a highly diverse country, and for all Central American countries, it's protected more land than any other country, including Costa Rica. So they've got lots of pristine, old-growth, tropical broadleaf forests. They've got the second largest barrier reef in the world.
Neat.
And an amazing array of plants and animals that kids from Pennsylvania and other places around here have never dreamed of.
Never dreamed. Have you been to Belize before?
I went on a scouting expedition in March.
Okay.
During spring break.
All right.
And I visited all the places that we're going to go on this program. So I vetted them, made sure that it was worthwhile, and that we wouldn't be sleeping on cardboard.
That's why I asked, because some students might be like, well, did this guy actually check this thing out
Yes.
first? Okay,
yes.
good.
And
All right.
so, the information session on Tuesday, I'll be showing lots of pictures of that trip.
That's awesome. Okay. So how many students are you looking to take on this trip?
Well, we've got 2 courses that we'd like to run.
Okay.
One is a course that's being taught by Dr. Matt Stone.
Okay.
And that course is called Herpetology. It's Bio 342. And that course is for science majors. You've had to have taken Principles of Biology, Bio 104, and either botany or zoology to get into that herpetology course.
Okay.
However, I'm also I'm teaching Bio 125, which is called Exploring Biodiversity, and this course is specifically designed for non-majors. So anybody can go on this trip and experience the rich biodiversity of Belize, and you don't need to be a science major.
I was just going to say, so if when you hear the Bio 342, I'm like, I'm not really qualified for that, but you pretty much just clarified my other question right there. Anybody's qualified for your...
Anybody's qualified for Exploring Biodiversity, and it counts in the C category of the new Gen Ed. And we could probably make it work for the old Gen Ed. If you need a biology course with a lab, I'm sure we could make Exploring Biodiversity work for that too.
So the trip is 2 weeks long, from December 30th through January 13th, so you'll actually be down there for the new year.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
And actually, we're going to be staying in a Mayan community in a town called Maya Center, and they have something special planned for us for the new year.
That's neat.
I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it'll have an indigenous slant to it. It should be really interesting.
That's really cool. So obviously this will be here before you know it. I mean, these semesters go by faster and faster, so we've really got to get students interested in this now. You have a big informational session coming up in a few days. Talk a little bit about that.
That's right. So yes, next Tuesday, which is September 3rd, we're going to be in the Academic Forum, room 101 downstairs at 11 o'clock. And I'll have information about what is the country of Belize like, what will be the conditions that you might experience, in terms of traveling and lodging while we're on this expedition. What are some of the activities that we're going to be doing in the courses? I'll talk about the mechanics of it as well. How do you apply? What will the cost be? What are the deadlines? And so forth. And I'll field questions for the students, and hopefully for any parents that are interested in coming and talking about their interest or concern.
Okay. Yeah. So one common question that some students might have is, okay, am I going to be living like in the forest, like on that Discovery Channel show Naked and Afraid for like 2 weeks? Or are you going to, but you're not necessarily probably going to be in a 5-star hotel either. So
no, it won't be 5-star hotels.
Right.
Although
so hopefully somewhere in between there, right?
Yeah, it'll be bunk houses when we're in the deciduous tropical rainforest.
Okay.
So there's 24-room bunkhouses.
Okay.
And they're screened in.
All right. That's not
and
too
the
bad.
whole compound of the research station where we're staying is solar powered.
Oh, that's neat.
And so it'll be rustic living.
Right.
While we're at the research station, but then we move to other places. One in particular is Placencia, Belize, which is a very popular tourist destination. It's a beach town.
Okay.
And there'll be all kinds of food available, and beach resorts. Will be actually staying at a beach resort.
Okay.
In Placencia for 3 days.
So there'll be some downtime as well too.
There'll be a little bit of downtime, particularly when we go to the beach.
All right. Yeah. Cool. So it's a 2-week. How many students are you looking to take?
So each of the courses has a minimum of 7 students.
Okay.
I would venture that we would both take up to 12.
Okay.
So we could take 12 students in each course. And so there's not a lot of availability for these courses. And the deadline is looming. So if you're going to decide to do it, you should think about it.
So the informational session is this coming Tuesday, September 3rd, 11 a.m., Academic Forum 101. What is the final deadline? I mean, if you get people to sign up right away, then that's the spots will be gone. But if they don't sign up right away, what's the final deadline?
The final payment deadline to be all paid up for the program is October 29th.
October 29th, okay.
There is a deposit deadline of September 16th, but that can float a bit. Depending on how many students we've received. We'll keep it open as long as we have to make sure the program runs.
Did you want to talk a little bit about the cost? Is this an expensive prospect to do, or not too bad?
Well, if you think about if you don't include the idea of tuition in it, it's not terribly expensive. The program cost is $2,400, and so over a course of a 2-week trip in Belize, that would, if you spent 2 weeks in Belize, that's what you'd pay.
You'd pay.
You have to pay extra for the tuition.
Right.
So the total cost of tuition and all the expenses inside the country, all the excursions, all the lodging, 3 meals a day, transportation is $3,600.
And when you consider 3 meals a day, lodging, how to get there, that's not a bad deal at all.
And then the only extra cost is buying your own round trip airfare.
Gotcha.
Right. And so the airfare, if I looked at it on Expedia today, it's ranging between $5 and $5.50.
Okay.
For a round trip airfare.
Right.
So you're looking at about a total of $4,100. The important thing is, if you're really considering going on this trip, you should get on getting your passport as soon as possible.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Because that takes, you can pay extra to have it expedited, but it takes some time to get your passport.
Yeah, so get that taken care of now if you're definitely interested, and that might be a good thing to do anyway. So, is there obviously the next session or the date we're really prepping is Tuesday, September 3rd for the informational session. But is there a website or something that people can go and take a look at it between now and then to see if they want to consider it?
Yeah, there is a website. The web address is pretty clunky.
Okay.
I can recite it here, but it'll be a little bit clunky. So
that's okay.
I'll do it. So it's https / in capitals Kutztown /SA Terradata, which is TERRADOTTA.com / go = Belize.
And what we'll do is with our podcast, because we always podcast all of these things, we'll put that link in there so that if you didn't get that, you don't want to have to keep hitting the rewind button and listen to it. We'll have it linked right there as well.
An easy way to find it is just go to the Kutztown website and type in International Studies.
There you go.
And it'll bring you to a website that shows all of the study abroad programs that KU and other sources provide, and you'll find Belize real quick.
Right, and since they updated the campus website, everything is so much more easy to navigate, and you can just use the toolbar and stuff.
Sure.
Well, that's really cool. Well, I want to keep repeating that date, Tuesday, September 3rd, 11 a.m., Academic Forum 101. Come for the informational session, find out if this trip is right for you. It definitely sounds like a really cool experience.
I had a great time during spring break when I went down there, and the second that I got to the research station where we're going to spend the most time, I heard what sounded like Godzilla in the forest, but it was howler monkeys, several troops of howler monkeys screaming at each other, setting up their territories. And and I just saw, I am a scientist of ecology, and so I study plant communities all the time, but I was just blown away by the diversity there. I'm so excited to share it with students.
Cool. Well, we definitely will look forward to hearing more about it. Tuesday, September 3rd, 11 a.m., Academic Forum. And
bring your friends.
Your email address, if anybody wants to email you, what is
My
that?
email address is HAB, as in boy, ECK, at kutztown.edu. So it's Habeck at kutztown.edu.
Dr. Christopher Habeck, I want to thank you so much coming in to talk to us about the Belize trip this winter, and hopefully we get some students interested in it.
Well, thanks for giving me the time.
All right, awesome. Stay tuned for more Kutztown Live here on Kutztown University Radio.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro-synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that.
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right, I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR Kutztown. Welcome back to Kutztown Live. I'm your host, Aaron B. from Undeclared Monday 6 to 7. Bam, there's my show promo. I'm joined by my co-host,
Josh Kaplan. Tonight, 6 to 7, the musical Morgue.
Nice.
There's my plug again.
Nice plug.
Now, we were going to have a guest from the library come in, but due to some scheduling, we do not have them here. But I wanted to make an announcement about the Rohrbach Library's open house on Tuesday, September 17th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's going to be a scavenger hunt there. It's good way. There's going to be food there. I believe they're ordering pizza.
Ooh,
and it's a good way for anyone who doesn't know the library to learn the library.
It's a kind of important thing to know.
It's like one of the most important resources. I didn't know that there were printers upstairs.
There is indeed. I've never used them, but there are. But yeah, that announcement still goes well with like our show premise for today, which was helping out the new people on campus.
It's what we do best.
So we earlier in the show when we didn't have a guest, we had mentioned some on-campus news with that with the people's classes not coming up on the MyKU app. So because we don't have a guest for this last segment, we're gonna mention some news and then bring on some other KUR veterans to self-promo KUR.
Very important people. Some top men here at KUR. Yeah.
But one of the news is that President Hawkinson of Kutztown University has declared that Fridays at Kutztown will be Spirit Friday, where everyone is encouraged to wear the school colors, the old maroon and gold, of course. And the campus store, I believe, is having a sale, a 20% sale.
Yeah.
Those always make the bookstore poppin'. They are scary.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I'm personally wearing the Welcome Weekend shirt from last year, and I think it counts because it says Kutztown on it.
Yeah, well, what do you think about these new Spirit Fridays? Do you think they will instill spirit?
I think it'll instill spirit. I feel more in tune with the school when I'm wearing the shirt.
I do too, actually. I feel big and tough when I put on my Kutztown University shirt.
I feel like the big guy out here.
Yeah, I did not do school pride today. I'm wearing a button-up shirt with sharks on it.
Equally cool.
Yeah, I guess that's equally cool. If you follow us on Instagram, at our KUR Instagram, you'll see a picture of this fabulous shark shirt, and you'll see some of Josh's school spirit as well. But like we said, we're gonna bring on some other KUR veterans to speak about our lovely organization here. It's our first episode. This show's about Kutztown, the campus, and the community. And I'd say KUR is a big organization that bridges the gap in between the two. So I thought it would be kind of important to talk a little bit about us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do we have our other KUR veterans here with us?
Hey. Yeah, we're here.
It's you guys.
That's our studio engineer, Kelby Brightfeller, and our vice president, Angelo Serra.
Vice?
Vice.
It's good to see you guys all tonight.
Oh, it's always lovely to see you. We would like to give a big thank you to Kelby for producing the show today.
Yeah,
thank you, Kelby.
My pleasure to be here, guys.
Always the most helpful guy. Always looking out for us. So, do you guys have anything to say about KUR? Like, we're in the first week. We had our meeting this week. We saw a couple new faces. That was awesome. Do you have anything to say for the hopeful freshmen and transfer students that are listening?
Radio is not scary at all.
Yeah, I can agree with that 100%.
That is right. I agree as well.
Yeah, it's not scary, and we're an approachable organization, I'd say.
Approachable?
We're very approachable, I believe.
We got a couple. We have characters in this organization.
We're all winners.
Yeah, we're all characters, but we're all winners, I'd say.
KUR is basically an organization for anybody. You can have little to no experience and be a radio DJ and
any major I'm
month.
psychology. There's a lot of CTM.
We've had
a lot of communication.
We've had business management majors.
We
majors too.
All walks of life love KUR.
Yeah.
You want to hear yourself on the radio. You want to be behind this microphone. You want to force your music taste.
Gives you power.
Yeah.
If it's anything I love, it's music. I love talking about music.
Yeah, and we have a great environment. I've made so many friends through KUR. One of my roommates, one of my suite mates, I met directly through KUR.
My roommate, I met directly through KUR.
Yeah, it's Angelo. It's that guy. It's that other guy.
I convinced my suite mate last year to join KUR.
I wrote down your lovely names as secretary.
That's not my job.
No, that's my job.
Oh, that was your job. Yeah. I was gonna say you're Vice. That's what you got introduced as earlier.
I am Vice now. That's crazy. That's really crazy. It's just Kelby. It seems like yesterday we were like in our training sessions.
Yeah, it feels like 1, 2, 3. Oh God, that's how many years we've gone through already. It's just all the way up to here. This has been such a fun ride so far.
And you guys are in the thick of it now.
Yeah, you guys are old, grizzled KUR veterans.
I've even grown a beard since the start.
I'm impressed.
Josh and I are still young bloods here.
We do not have that big of an age difference.
Yeah, in all honesty.
You guys are old.
We're 21.
Yeah, exactly.
19.
And 2 years, wow.
Well, yeah, there's a pretty big difference there. I mean,
you're old.
Obviously. No, I'm not old.
But at least 3 of us here had something super important we wanted to talk about. Josh isn't included in this one.
I wish I was.
It's this beautiful thing we have going on here, KUR on Mondays. What is it, boys?
KUR on Mondays, it's nonstop student programming after 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 to midnight, we've got nonstop music.
From who?
Well, from 6 to 7, I believe that's your show.
My show, Undeclared, 6 to 7 on Mondays?
Yeah,
could it be?
That's exactly what I said. And then, let's see, after you, that's
the showcase
with DJ Jackal, his 7 to 8 block. And then from 8 to 9 is me. It's my show, The Mix.
Mixing it up.
The Mix with DJ AC?
Could it be?
Mixing it up, throwing tasty jams, and then...
Yep, right to you from DJ Air Conditioning here.
DJ Air Conditioning, pretty cool guy here. Let's see, 9 to 10 is The Break with DJ Vinny P.
Love Vinny P, love The Break.
Love that guy.
You'll come out of there questioning your life choices, but in a good way.
But it's award nominated, so I guess he's doing something right over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is doing something good. And then, Kelby, I think you should take the finale here.
Oh, yeah. So I happen to run a little show called Split Wires from 10 p.m. to midnight on Mondays. It's a non-stop block of fun going from rock to electronic. And at the end of the night, we finally get calm enough that, it's a good transition into the diner. Nice and gets slowed down tempo.
That's what I like to hear.
But electronic dance music to the diner.
And just to
you'd be surprised.
Just to keep everyone on their toes, there's another show on Fridays from 6 to 7. It's the Musical Morgue, which is tonight. It's not on Mondays, but you know what they say about Mondays? You know what Garfield says?
He loves them.
Yeah, he loves them.
You guys need to read up on Garfield. But on Fridays from 6 to 7, you can hear all the best dead artists, sometimes the worst, but they're dead.
On what show?
The Musical Morgue from 6 to 7 on Fridays.
I gotta admit, I still love the creativity behind it.
That's what we got an award for.
A KUR award for most creative show was given to those gentlemen over at the Musical Morgue. But as we draw our first Kutztown Live as co-hosts to a close, we must thank all of our guests today. They were all fantastic. We had a great first show. It was a wonderful learning experience, and we had a lot of fun. But for today, we must sign off until next week, where we'll be here same time, Friday, 2 to 3 p.m. We hope to see you there. This is Aaron B. signing off.
This is also Josh Kaplan signing off.
Thank you so much for listening. And if you didn't catch all of the show, all of our shows are podcasted on YouTube, so make sure to go check out there. Everyone, have a wonderful weekend. Here from the KUR studio, you're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR Kutztown.
It's the top of the hour, and you're listening to KUR, the radio voice of Kutztown University. On air on campus at 1670 AM. Streaming online at www.kutztown.edu/KUR. At select times of the day on the KUTV information channel on various venues like Hometown Utilicom Channel 8 and Service Electric Lehigh Channel 966. On your smartphone by using a free app like TuneIn. You can listen to KUR anywhere you have a phone, even a simple landline, just by dialing 563-999-3101. You can also hear select KU radio programming on your time on demand on mixcloud.com/KU radio. KUR, Kutztown University's source for talk, music, and everything in between.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he wants to step up the tempo on Brexit negotiations with the EU. It comes as former Conservative leader Sir John Major has joined one of several legal challenges to stop a suspected